Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking. That means a lot to you guys. Keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. And today we're recapping the premiere of Survivor 43, a highly anticipated episode as people are kind of trying to get a feel for what this new era is going to be, right? We've had 2 seasons now. Production has seen our reaction to these 2 seasons. What are they going to do? And boy, other people may have different opinions, but I thought this episode was an absolute disappointment. Just really the imbalance in editing for me personally. There was about 2 people who got a bunch of screen time. Those 2 people being about really just, I'd say, Sammy and Cody maybe, and the rest basically got nothing. Maybe Ellie got a bunch, but she didn't get much as far as like her as a person. It was more of a player. So right, you have 3 players getting all of the screen time, and the rest of the cast is kind of chopped liver, and it was definitely disappointing to watch. But in this video, I'm going to go through the entire episode, recap the whole thing for you, and in the background, we actually have these secret scenes playing, so kind of get 2 things done at once. And if that's it, make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff because it's free, it's easy, and it really helps the channel out. So the episode starts out with basically a basic marooning. There isn't really much to talk about as far as the marooning goes. I mean, it's just banter between Jeff and the players, which really kind of started this period of just the episode being absolutely miserable to watch. And it's really just boring. It's all very cookie cutter. It's the same, almost the exact same first challenge as last season's as far as the immunity challenge later on goes, but this one was a bit different. It was kind of cool. There was some kind of strategizing as far as how to get the key off of the hook, but really nothing of mention here, nothing of note really. After they get back from camp though, the red tribe earns their supplies at this marooning challenge by winning that challenge, and so the yellow and the blue tribes are given the same choice as the last 2 seasons, the savvy or sweat. The savvy choice is them having to solve a puzzle to earn their machete, water, and also flint. Or they could do the sweat challenge, which is where they basically just dig up a huge pit of sand until they find those supplies. Now, the savvy one obviously has a bigger risk, but it doesn't isolate 2 people from the rest of the tribe, which of course those two people wouldn't like very much. And so the blue tribe picks the sweat challenge. Ryan and Gio volunteer to go do it basically without any hesitation. They get it done after like an hour or so, and then they come back. It didn't seem like they lost any strategizing time that much, but the yellow tribe chooses to do that savvy challenge, and this is where we see the 19-year-old Sammy really come out of his shell and show his smarts, because he solves the puzzle with no help and really has this genius idea to move these 2 sticks here and make a giant number, which is the whole point of the puzzle. And so it's very impressive what he does here, and it shows he is the mental leader on this tribe, even though he's the youngest. We also see him tell us that he's lying about his age, saying that he's 22 because the age 19 just doesn't really have a good sound to it. We also see the 3 girls on this tribe bond. I believe it's over Ellie's sister's overdose, and the 2 girls kind of embrace her, and this is where we see Ellie, kind of the head figure of this female alliance, kind of bonding together with these 2 girls and telling us that she wants to do the girl power alliance, which of course, I mean, I just scoffed so hard when I saw this, but nonetheless, it's the case. So on this tribe, we really see the girls in power, as well as Sammy in cahoots with Ellie and the other girls, leaving either Owen or Mike to be that first boot, leaning Owen though for sure. Over on the Coco tribe, aka that blue tribe that had just finished up that sweat challenge, the strategy kind of starts. So we see a girls alliance also on this tribe. So yes, 2 tribes now have a dominant female alliance, and the leader of this one is a very attractive girl named Cassidy. Cassidy says that women in the game can't get away with playing as aggressive as men, something that I vehemently disagree with. But she says that she wants to play more under the radar, but it's kind of hypocritical of her just because of the fact that she's playing so domineering and then saying that women can't play that way and stay in the game. She has no problem staying in the game with this strategy, but she brings together both herself. She also brings with her Carla And on top of that, she also brings in Lindsay, the older lady on this tribe. So Carla, my arch nemesis, also Lindsay, and then her are the kind of dominant alliance on this tribe, with James, or Jay, the kind of black nerd type, kind of roped in with them. And so they have basically a dominant three alliance with James on the outside. And then on the yellow tribe, we have all of the women plus Sammy roped in on the outside. So really now we're being controlled by full women's alliances, with like one guy who's just not strong enough to stand up to it, and it kind of wants to go in that fourth spot. Those are how those two tribes are going. As far as the Vessi tribe, which is the winning red tribe, we see Cody take complete control of this tribe, both personality-wise and also strategy-wise. Colby really just does everything here. He's the best character in this entire season, I think, to this point, maybe besides Sammy. It's really him and Sammy are the only two in this episode that I really got something cool from. But Cody's especially interesting because he kind of came across in a villainous way, which is pretty rare. I mean, they're really not casting villainous people anymore. And so I really liked Cody's vibe here. He's like kind of like a rock out dude, but also kind of a villainous character. We see him not really trusting people, being extra conniving, not really being afraid to talk behind people's back. I know, to me, he seemed like a different level of casting. Very impressive casting there. Not so much for the rest of the season. But getting back to his tribe, we see him, Nneka, and Jesse form a group of three alliance. And their first thoughts were to worry over how quickly Noelle and Justine, the two kind of late 20s, early 30s girls on this tribe, were bonding. They were really scared of that, and so they formed this three of the more kind of chill people. Justine also comes up in conversation with these three players, and they talk about how salespeople, which is what Justine does for a living, are very conniving people. And Cody agrees vehemently. He's like, yeah, no, I hate salespeople. Oh my God. Cut to confessional, and Cody tells us that he is a salesperson, and that he's kind of all along been lying to them, saying that he works for an elevator company, kind of inferring that he just does like blue collar work, when in reality he's actually a salesperson himself. And so it's very interesting. Like this guy Cody really does have no limits, and I really like that because they're casting these squeaky clean villains like Shan, who, oh, Shan, so squeaky clean, you're like supposed to root for her even though she's a villain. I don't want to like my villains. And if I do, I want it to be my choice, right? I like Russell for my own reasons, but they definitely did not edit Russell in an overly squeaky clean and nice way. And I just don't like that way of doing villains that they're doing in this new era. Then the show just kind of switches back and forth between tribes, giving everybody a sob story. Everybody gets their cutaway to their personal life, and it shows like videos, like iPhone videos of them and their whole family jumping off a cliff and then almost surviving and almost dying. It's just, oh, it's so stupid. I just hate the whole sob story idea of doing things. I hate that, because if someone has a good story, I will hear it naturally. It will come up. You do not need to force them all in one episode. If someone gets to the 10th episode, I'll probably hear it around 8 or 9, right? You don't need to squeeze 20 sob stories into the first episode with a bunch of people who, I mean, part of them are going to go during the pre-merge. Like, I do not need to know the Fifth Boots life story. It's just simply not how the edit works. And they've done this right for so many years, and they're starting to get it wrong now. I don't understand it at all. But we get tons of those. The next thing that's really substantial that happens is the return of Shipwheel Island, and I'll spare you the gruesome details. Just kidding. It's not that bad, but it's just the same stuff from last season. Again, very cookie cutter season so far. And so in the end, what happens is Gabler, Dwight, and Carla go to the island, and once Gabler leaves and Dwight leaves, Gabler has won an idol that he can play at the next two tribals that he's gone to, and Dwight has lost his vote for the next tribal that he goes to. That's what ends up happening. That's really the only substantial thing that happens up until the immunity challenge, where both the blue and red tribe win immunity, sending the yellow tribe to tribal council. And this was really interesting because they come in very kumbaya. You know, they had been such a, everyone's just happy to be here tribe for the past few days. And now the game kind of kicks into gear, and it's very interesting to watch. So in this case, really what we have is Ellie in control, with Sammy also in a very good spot. But basically what it is the girls, or at least Mariah from the girls, thinks that both Janine and Ellie are voting with her, and maybe they'll pull in Sammy to get out Owen. Whereas in specifically Gabler and on top of that Owen think that Mariah is the obvious weakest link on the tribe, and they're trying to keep the tribe strong. And Ellie is actually with them here. So Ellie, although she has that dominant female alliance that she could keep, she saw what happened to the Uwa tribe on 41, and how your tribe can fall apart so quickly if you lose your strength. And so here, Ellie actually sides with the boys. She wants to keep Owen because he's strong and vote out Mariah. But it's close, and it's kind of back and forth. Ellie and Janine are the swing votes, but really it's Ellie controlling that vote, or at least that's how it seemed to the viewer. Ellie decides to go against Mariah and blindside Mariah. It's a shocking vote. And that's about it, guys. So this episode was really, really boring to me. I felt like this episode was a big disappointment for a season that had such big expectations and stakes on it coming in. If you guys disagree, let me know down below in the comments. As always, none of this happens without you guys. Without you guys, I'm just a weird guy speaking a weird microphone. So as always, thank you. And if that's it, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.